Hello, welcome to the Opinionistics. I'm your host, John Milone, and unfortunately, we're not going to have co-host joining us because tonight's a very special night. So introducing from Houston, Texas, Roger Leslie.
Hello there.
Hi. So, what do you do?
I am first and foremost an author. That's always been my passion. And throughout the years, I've been a teacher, a professor, a librarian, and currently, in addition to doing my own writing, I am an editor, writing coach, and a publisher for other authors.
And okay, that's interesting. And how does that work in particular?
I've always loved the writing process, and I've always loved to be immersed in the world of books. And as I found success as an author through traditional publishing and then through my own publishing house, I realized I wanted to help make other writers, aspiring writers' dreams come true as well. And so that's why I started the publishing company, so that I could make their journey toward publication easier than mine was.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
I love it. It's so fun.
Fabulous. And what books have you released?
So I have 15 books out at this time in all different genres. I write fiction and nonfiction. I have self-help and books on librarianship, movie reference books, biography, memoir, autobiography, a little historical fiction, a little bit of everything. Whatever I'm interested in or I get the opportunity to write, I'm just excited about a new adventure. If I've never done it before, I want to try it.
Okay, fabulous. Now, where do you see yourself 20 years from now?
My mission in life is to inspire people to live the life they dream and to empower them to follow their own unique spiritual path. So I'm already fulfilling that mission. So 20 years from now, I will just be doing it in bigger, broader, more expansive ways.
Great. Would you rather be really hot or really cold?
Hot.
All right then. Sounds good.
It's a good thing I live in Texas, huh?
Yeah. Oh dear. If you had a song for every time you enter the room, what song would it be?
I'm So Excited by the Pointer Sisters.
That's a good song. I'm not gonna lie.
It's one of my favorite happiness songs. There are songs that I list in different categories, and there are a few that I consider songs that are just like songs that always make me happy and that seem to fit my personality. That's definitely one of them.
Okay, sounds good. What sort of terrain would you thrive in most?
I teach classes related to my book, My First Last Year, and they're called FLY classes for the term First Last Year. It's an acronym for FLY, First Last Year. So the byline for that course is why climb when you can fly? So I think the terrain would actually be the air.
Oh, okay. Never thought of it that way. Is it better to use shampoo as soap or soap as shampoo?
Well, I'm completely bald, so I don't use shampoo, so I'll just go with the soap.
All right, sounds good. What has been the highlight of your week?
The highlight of my week?
Yep.
Doing this interview right now. I've been looking forward to it since the beginning of the week.
Oh, okay. That's kind of nice. What was the longest trip you have ever taken?
The longest trip? We did a Mediterranean cruise. When I lived my first last year, I achieved all the goals that I wanted to achieve. And one of my big dreams was always to do a Mediterranean cruise. So we cruised all the way from Spain to Turkey and back.
Wow, that is quite a journey. That's mad. Who was the funniest person you've met?
My husband, Jerry, I think is hilarious. We laugh all the time. It is a joyful life that we share. I think he's very funny. We share the same sense of humor, so we both get the same ideas, or we respond to funny things in the same way. It's lighthearted. It's never mean-spirited, and we just enjoy the joy of laughter.
Yeah, that's nice. Would you rather teleport yourself 500 years into the past or 500 years into the future?
The future, definitely. Things just continue to get better as we all evolve as a species. I'm thrilled to see where we end up.
As do I. What was the last thing you read about, digitally or in print, that you found interesting?
I'm a movie scholar, and so very often when I watch movies, I read about them and study about them so I can immerse myself in the understanding of the film and the filmmaking. And so I recently watched an old movie and I read about it as I was reading it. The movie was called What's the Matter with Helen, which is an old movie from the early 1970s. And I had read Shelley Winter's autobiography, and I had read both of Debbie Reynolds' autobiographies. And in one of the books for each of them, they each discussed their experience of working on the movie, especially Debbie Reynolds. And so reading more about that film and the experience that other people had working with them, I found enlightening and fascinating.
Great. What should they teach in high school but don't?
I used to be a high school teacher, and I dedicated all my curriculum to teaching students goal setting and determining what they wanted to do with their lives and how to start. I'd like to see a whole lot more that, rather than just in the US, they call it character education, where they teach qualities that are important, like honesty and integrity and sharing. But they usually do that only at the elementary level. By the time they get to high school, they really don't do much character building education. I'd love to see that throughout the curriculum. And that was the reason I wrote some of my books, and even my doctoral dissertation was on that topic.
Very well. What website or app do you visit most often?
I go to writing sites very often. I contribute to writing sites. And, recently I spoke at a conference, an international conference called Worthy Rally for Kindness. And I've been visiting the websites of the other speakers that I got to work with at that conference, because they're doing such great work all over the world.
Okay, that's interesting. If you could switch jobs with someone else for a week, what job would you like to try?
I would like to be a filmmaker. I think it would be fun to be someone like Francis Ford Coppola or Warren Beatty or Clint Eastwood, where they write and direct and produce and star in, and sometimes even write the music for their films. I think that creative process is exciting, and to have that many different responsibilities in the creation of something sounds fascinating to me.
Great. Would you rather speak all languages or have the ability to speak to all animals?
I'd love to speak to animals. They fascinate me. I think we can learn so much from them. I think we do learn so much from them. And if we could speak their language, we would learn even more.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. If you only could make a deal with one person, who would it be and what would you get them to do?
I think I would make a deal with Richard Branson. He and I could work together on some of our visions for building people up, inspiring people, and empowering people to create their dream and enhance the goodness in the world.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. If you could travel to any place around the world, where would it be?
I've been to most of the places I've wanted to go. The one trip that I still have in mind that I would really like to go to would be Australia and New Zealand. I've heard it's gorgeous, and I've not been to that part of the world, so that's on the top of my list.
Fabulous. It's a good time of this year. If you have... Wait, hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got one. What kind of music do you often listen to?
I actually like to listen to older classics from my youth and also from farther back. I love traditional songs. The song, my husband Jerry is a singer, and he sings a lot of the old, like Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra kind of songs. I love that music, as well as the music that I grew up with in the 1960s and 70s.
Fabulous. What is something that always makes you laugh?
Cleverness. I think people who are clever and not mean-spirited are hilarious.
Fabulous. I love it. What was the hardest thing you've ever done?
I came to terms with who I was and had to accept myself. I chose to accept myself fully and present myself authentically to the world.
All right then. Sounds good. What is something that you disagree with most frequently?
The concept that some ideas are right and some ideas are wrong doesn't resonate with me. I think we are all seeing the world. In my fly classes, I teach the concept that the world is a prism, a many-faceted prism, and that each of us is just looking at the prism from a different facet. And that if we really want to gain understanding and enlightenment, we can look at the world in ways that other people might be seeing it, so that we can understand where they're coming from, rather than assuming that somebody is right and somebody else must be wrong.
Very philosophical. Philosophical. I can't say the word, but I see what you're going on with. What is the most comfortable piece of clothing you own?
I have some sweatpants that whenever I'm doing Zoom meetings, I may be dressed up from the waist up, or from the waist down. I'm wearing those same old sweatpants every day.
Ah, yes. We've certainly all been there. Yeah. If you had to lose one of your senses, which one would you choose to lose?
I think I depend on all of them, and I value all of them. So I'm not sure that would be a very easy decision to make. I'm a visual learner. I know that for sure. I always have been. So my sight would be paramount. I would definitely miss that one the most. I really wouldn't want to lose any of them. I value all of them, and I would not want to lose one.
Okay. Would you rather be able to breathe underwater or have an agility of a cat?
Breathe underwater. I've been a swimmer my whole life. I was a competitive swimmer back in high school and college, and the idea of, I just love being in the water. So yeah, if I could live under the water for a while too and be able to breathe that way, that would be fabulous.
Oh yeah. And yeah. If you were chosen to be a colonist for a new habitable planet, will you take that opportunity?
Sure. I think if the opportunity was presented to me and it felt spiritually like the right thing, then it was meant to be. And I also have the philosophy that we should continually be doing something that scares us, that forces us to use our courage to grow. And that would be something that there would be so much I wouldn't know about ahead of time. I would definitely be alive and alert as I began the experience. So yes, I definitely would.
Oh yes, absolutely. What is the best way to start the morning?
Jump out of bed joyfully and say thank you.
Cool. What is the most ridiculous fact that you know?
I'm famous for my keynote speeches relating award-winning movies to any topic. So one thing that fascinates people as an anomaly is that I have memorized every Oscar-nominated movie, actor, actress, supporting actress, writer, director, and song.
Wow, that's mad.
My mother, I started that when I was a kid. My mother was always just like, what are you ever going to use this for? Why in the world are you doing it? I started it as a kid just because it was interesting to me, but it turned out now that I have written movie reference books, and I'm a frequent keynote speaker where I use that knowledge to do presentations. So ultimately it has paid off.
Oh, I guess I certainly see it did pay off for certain. What is your favorite life hack?
My favorite what?
Favorite life hack?
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're asking.
What is your... Do you know what a life hack is?
I don't think I do.
Okay. So basically, what I'm asking is, what's your favorite method in making life easier for yourself?
I have a philosophy. I have practices that I get in every day. I call it getting into the pew, another acronym, PEW. I pray, exercise, and write every day.
That's pretty good. What words do you constantly spell wrong, no matter how hard you try?
I always have to spell out the word Wednesday in my head and February, just because they have some inverted letters. So those are easy ones that I do. But since I was a child in elementary school, I always have to remind myself by thinking it through in my head before I write it.
Yeah, it can be complicated, can it? What three objects do you value the most?
My wedding ring. I have a rare collectible movie poster. If you can count an animal as that, then I'd say my dog for sure. That would be number one.
Ah, interesting. So if you ever became independently wealthy and you didn't have to work anymore, what would you do with your time?
I wouldn't change a thing. I'm living the life I dream right now. I get up, I pray, I exercise, I write, and I do anything that I feel I'm spiritually led to do. I wouldn't change anything. I would just do more of it and have more fun.
That's nice. What is your favorite game show?
We watch Jeopardy every day, but we're very good at $100,000 Pyramid. We actually mute it and play while the game is going on. And my husband Jerry and I are both, we love playing that game, and we've gotten very good at it over the years. So either Jeopardy or the Pyramid.
Okay, that's interesting. If the universe is just a simulation, what update or patch does it need right now?
I actually believe that everything happening in the physical world is just a mirror of what's going on in the spiritual world. So I think from my perspective, everything's in divine order and it's going just great. I think one of my goals in life is to try to help people see the world from their own spiritual perspective. And then if they're led to make changes or updates, they will do what feels true to them.
Okay, sounds good. What is your favorite kind of dessert?
Anything chocolate and ice cream. If I could only eat one thing the rest of my life, ice cream would be the top of the list.
All right then, sounds good. What's the first thing you'd do if you won the lottery?
I would take 10% of the winnings and give it to a charity that means something to me.
Love it. Absolutely love it. What fashion trend would you start if you were an influential fashion icon?
It would have something to do with comfort because I'm all about being comfortable. So anything that would make people more comfortable in the clothes that they're wearing and still look in such a way that they felt attractive. So yes, the whole theme would have to do with comfort.
All right then, sounds good. What's your favorite season?
Spring.
All right then, sounds good. What is the best pair of shoes you own?
I've had some really good running shoes that I've enjoyed that have been very comfortable that I use for walking or doing the treadmill. But as far as dress shoes, oh, here's a good story. You're going to like this. So when I was in England back in 2000, we were in the Hatfield train derailment. We survived the Hatfield train derailment, and they impounded the train. And so they had to keep all of our luggage. And they told us we needed to buy, to go ahead and buy some replacement clothes until they could give us our luggage back. I bought myself a pair of Gucci boots. I've been wearing them ever since. I still wear those Gucci boots. They're the best quality pairs of footwear I've ever had. They're fantastic.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. And that is all we have for this episode. It was great having you here, Roger, talking about your work as an author, your speaker, publisher, and a lot of other things. It's been amazing.
Well, thank you so much. I've had so much fun. You have great questions, really thought-provoking.
You're welcome. And until next time, stay opinionated.